As long as he's transparent about it, I don't give a.
Yeah.
Let's start this off with a quick discussion. What would you guys say the ratio of white to black hairs are in Julian's head?
Like,
First of all, what do you think it is in your head?
In my head, I would say
White to black.
like white to black, 65-35, 70.
I was gonna say 70. I was like 75.
In my head, you're 60-30.
Sprays for that.
It's called dye. It's called dye in your hair, guys.
Then it goes.
Dye.
It's like a tint. It's like
They also sell
tint.
they also sell like shampoos that like blends it.
So like in my head, you're a 60-40. When I look at you like I just did in the light, more big pie, I'm more.
So if you ask a group of men, what type of body do you think women prefer? I think most would say the leaner the better.
I would say huge. That's always taught me. I can't leave that camera. Okay.
Gone.
Okay. What were you saying? Leaner? Yeah, for sure. You don't have to answer. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. If you were to ask a group of guys, what type of body do women prefer in men? I think most of them would say the leaner the better,
Definitely some sort of muscular physique.
but they'd be wrong. At least according to Twitter.
He's like, where do I look? Camera? You guys? Where do I?
Okay, so how did this topic even come up in the first place? There's a little bit of a debate going on Twitter where this poor guy posted his before and after picture. What's his name? Olly Murs. Olly Murs, who's a singer, posted a before and after picture of his transformation. He looked, like
Great.
a guy who works out,
He looked great.
but isn't super lean. And then the after picture, as you can see, he's pretty lean. Now, somebody decided to do a poll and ask men and women, did he look better before or after? And the vast majority of men picked the after picture, naturally. And surprisingly, the vast majority of women said he looked better before. So that's what we want to discuss today.
We're going to get into it. Guys, as usual, I'm Victor. That's Forehead Julian. We have our lovely guest, Allie, who's one of our biggest podcast supporters and longtime trainee here at BFit. We also have little Emma. You guys know her already. One of the few girls we know. Apparently, we don't know a lot of women.
They had to
Emma,
black again because
we don't know a lot of women. Resident trainer, overall bundle of joy.
And by the way, if you want to watch Emma's podcast where she was introduced to the YouTube game, go back like 5 podcasts or 4 podcasts. One of our most popular ones.
We'll link it. You have
That's a good one. So first thing I want to do is apologize to this poor guy because he got caught up in the middle of this insane debate. And obviously when he posted that picture, he had no intentions of stirring all this controversy.
Hey, good job, Ollie. You did it.
And he's even talked about it. Like now he's made a statement on it where he said that, he did it for personal reasons and it had nothing to do with, of course, the internet, you can't predict what people are going to say about you. But he's like kind of disappointed to see all this, because people are fighting over it. Because apparently men don't believe that women prefer the before picture. Like they just refuse to believe it, which leads to a more interesting argument that we're going to talk about. But first, what do you guys think? Do you like the before or the after version?
Before we even get into that, I'm not going to apologize to him because we're in this day and age that any publicity is good publicity. I'm sorry, but we haven't said the name Olly Murs since 2013 on his last.
You looked up his songs.
Yeah, in 2013, and they're not bad. Pretty good musicians. So there you go. I thought he was a hockey player. He thought he was a hockey player because he's white. How about that?
I will say he has an infectious smile. I like that.
He has an infectious hairline. Anyway, guys, what do you think?
Well, I don't think the after picture is unattractive.
Okay, good.
Okay.
But I do prefer the before.
And why?
I just feel like the before picture, he looks like a guy who is strong, but can still like keep me warm at night. If I were camping with him in the cold, maybe on Survivor.
More insulation.
Wow.
Just,
You're going deep.
yeah, I don't know why, but that's like my first gut reaction to the photo.
Okay.
It's interesting because I think men think of like if they show a picture of a woman, they visualize themselves like either just being intimate, like having sex with them or kissing them or hooking up with them. And you're going into the freaking wilderness with a guy. That's such a crazy, yeah.
It is weird.
Yeah.
I'm weird.
We're going to get deep into that. So
How about you? Which is better?
I agree with Ali on that sense. The right picture on the right, obviously, trainer perspective, super impressive. Guy on the left, I would prefer
For you?
for me, just because overall lifestyle. Just I know what it takes to keep up the body on the right. So
So you guys are making assumptions of the guy based on just the body type. That's what we're getting from this? Assumptions of his lifestyle?
I would say yeah.
So that's the first. That's a good. I guess we might as well get into that.
Exactly.
The segue would be that I found it really interesting that I think if you ask a man like, does this girl look better than this girl? The last thing they're going to be thinking about is this girl probably doesn't eat desserts. No, they're just going to objectively say this girl. They're just would. And I thought that was really interesting that a lot of because I asked a lot of like our members.
What is about it?
Been like 2 weeks. I think Julian's mind has been blown by these findings.
Is that Julian's been working hard to keep a lean cuisine his whole life. And I was like, wait, I could have been freaking chubby or
Let's be honest, the guy on the left has a lot more fun. I mean, as a lifestyle.
it depends because like people look at me and they'll be like, oh, well, this guy has no fun. And
Yeah, but you're a genetic freak. Let's get back to it. What I mean is that women automatically, I think it's, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's hard for you to just look objectively at the aesthetics without thinking of all the other things that come along with. Like you're already thinking about cuddling with a guy. You're thinking about the fact that he doesn't have dessert, and that's what it takes to be that lean. Like we didn't even bring up lifestyle, but you're already like bringing all those things into the mix. Is it hard for you guys to just look and just say aesthetically, I like this guy? Forget it. Like, what if they both have the same lifestyle? You know, or is it I actually like how this guy looks better?
At first, I'm not a trainer. I've never been that lean in my life, so I don't know what it takes to be like that. So at first, I wasn't thinking the lifestyle choices that come along with that. I'm kind of getting more into that kind of lifestyle myself, so I'm like learning slowly but surely, like more sleep, no alcohol, all those kinds of things. But that wasn't my first like thought when I see the before and after. My first thought is like, I don't know. I just like the fluffier look. I think it comes down to like the whole dad bod phenomenon. And like I don't think that the dad bod refers to like a gut and like being overweight. I think his before picture is the dad bod. Like looking really strong. But
It was
so
pretty strong. There's a debate about that though. We should get into it because there's a big discrepancy into what some people think is a dad bod and others. Like some people online tend to be women, from what I've seen, tend to think like you did. Like a dad bod is like that guy clearly works out, he's strong, he has some muscle, but he's not super lean. Whereas I think other people, I think maybe men will be like a dad bod is like a guy that's out of shape, a guy that has a little bit of a gut, doesn't really work out, doesn't take care of himself too much. So I think even just saying dad bod is already like not near.
yeah, there's a disconnect there between what we call dad bod. Like that classic Eli Manning picture, which I'll put here.
I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Eli Manning. Eli, I'm sorry I wasn't familiar with your name. Clearly that is not a dad bod and that is not a gut. You even have a little bit of the gutters showing there on the side of your hip. So I sincerely apologize, Eli. Back to the pod.
Put it, you bastard. Here on the beach, that is a gut, and like his arms don't really look that impressive.
Professional.
To me, that's a dad bod. And you guys saying that this guy looks strong in the first picture?
He does look like a guy that works out.
Yeah.
Definitely works out.
Yeah.
That's not the body of a man who doesn't work out.
Exactly.
So that's going on in his favor.
So does a dad bod mean somebody that works out or doesn't? Like that's my confusion with it.
I mean, Emma's dad works out, but
But Emma's dad is sexy.
yeah.
can we put a picture of Ever's bad hair?
Here's a nude picture of his dad.
I would prefer the one with the Hawaiian shirt where you just
Oh, that birds
please.
so vascular.
I don't know. I would say like dad bod is like someone who doesn't really work out or take care of themselves.
So that's what I was gonna say. Like they achieve their physique doing manual labor is what my dad bod is. It's either by by doing things around the house and things like
I
that.
romanticize that.
You do.
I was thinking about it too when I saw the pictures of the guys. Like immediately, the same guy, literally one guy, same man. But I looked at the left one and I thought what you did, like, oh, like people would say that's a dad bod. But like personally, I don't think that was like a dad bod. Like I think he's just, he's strong, he works out, but he goes home and like drinks a beer, eat a burger,
And that's fair. I think that first of all, the picture on the right, he made it so that he looked really ripped. Like the lighting, of course, plays a role, but that made his face look
Terrible.
worse. Like his face looked too thin, too many shadows, too much contrast. His head looked bigger because he's thinner. So I think that didn't go in his favor. I think that I think the picture on the left was a better picture. Like he came out better. And I think that's like, I don't know, when I look at the pictures as a guy, I just see like, okay, he looks good, his smile and everything in the other picture, but then of course, the body on the right is, you know, more desirable, I would say. Like every man wants to be lean, or most men want to be lean. So
As a fellow balding man, I think you should have worn a hat in both pictures.
100% on the right one, 100%.
Yeah. That over my picture. My heart feels not. I mean, I'm just saying. That's he did apologize beforehand. I did. Ollie, if you see this, we'd love to have you on. Come by the podcast, sing a few songs for us.
Please
He did have some good songs.
play some. Had a shot.
Do not play hard on the You could probably play a little hockey, but where I guess he is from with that name, Olly Murs.
Olly Murs.
European?
European for sure.
Ollie is a very European name.
Olly. How does he spell it?
Olly.
Oh yeah, Olly.
Ole. So like, guys, I'm from Nebraska. You're Cuban, huh? I'm from Nebraska. Cuban name. Okay. That's derogatory.
All right, so let's go a little bit deeper into this like female preference thing. One of the things that like people started chiming into this debate, and there was like an evolutionary biologist and everything that jumped in to say that from an evolutionary perspective, it makes sense that women don't like super lean guys, because that guy would have died like 10,000 years ago. Like he wouldn't have survived too much like the way that we used to live. So whether it's conscious or not, there are unconscious reasons why we have preferences, right? And I think that a lot of women, one of the things that they said was like what you said, oh, this guy would keep me warm if we were like camping in the woods, or, but I think it sounds funny, but I really do think there's something to that. So what do you guys think about that? Like, is there an evolutionary reason for preference?
I think it's the same as like why guys are attracted to wide hips naturally, and it's because of the whole birthing thing. It's the thing, the whole birthing thing. So I do think that there's some sort of reason why they're attracted to the what she's calling fluffier
Let's ask them.
portion.
They're right here.
I think that's a really good point. I didn't even think about the women
The hip,
aspect,
yeah.
the hips, and just
Overall, what we were naturally drawn to.
honestly the boobs.
Mommy milkers.
Right.
Don't call them that in front of Emma. She's does that mommy milkers? Terrible thing.
And you want to pick like a woman who can like survive through childbirth.
Exactly.
Raise a baby.
That's why we have those preferences of like the curves and the body fat in specific areas. It's not random.
Yeah.
By the way, she's overage. I know she doesn't look overage, but she is. So
23. And me. Before she says, he's saying, oh, don't say that in front of Emma. She's child. You look it. Okay, let's see you.
I agree with Ali in the sense that when you look for like a partner, like let's say you're looking for a life partner, most women are going to pick the guy on the left.
I mean,
Right.
if you think about it in the opposite direction, do you guys prefer like a skinny, super lean
Next one.
woman?
No.
that's great. I'm glad you asked.
You want a little bit of like
I mean, but that's also like I think that's a
on the
preference
bone.
thing. That's a preference thing because, like, I know plenty of people that do like the skinnier girl, plenty of guys. I've just never been that type. Like, I think that's a different. That has, I don't know. I think men are different in
I
that.
think most men don't mind a woman with extra, or I don't know how you even call it, but like not super lean, basically. I think they would prefer, as opposed from what I've heard from friends of mine and stuff. It's like, oh, that's too much when they get like
Very lean.
fitness models now. It's
But are we talking lean or skinny? Because those are two different things.
They are two different things.
Very muscular, a muscular girl, or if you like a skinny girl, is two very different things. I know a lot of people, and especially like I think this is like I think of the times in the 90s, it was very popular to like the skinny girls. There was a lot of skinny girls with like big fake boobs. And I was like,
And I do want to get into culture and how that messes with our perception and kind of guides like what we find attractive. But just to go further on this question, I think that guys, like you hear it over and over again that like women are very hard on themselves when it comes to like body image. We had that whole podcast about body image with Emma, and most guys, we really don't mind. We even don't mind things like cellulite or like straight up. We don't have a super flat stomach. Like we don't mind things like that for the most part. I mean, I can speak for myself. I certainly don't mind. So
that's true.
there you go.
Speak for me, go ahead.
But now the real question is, same girl, this is how she used to look like, and then super lean. Which one would we go for? I guess we'd have to see the girl.
Right. So 25% body fat female versus a 15%.
25 is chill.
I'm going 25.
Let's say,
But I've just always been that type. I've always liked somebody that isn't like me. I guess I'm already skinny enough.
you're a classic
You know what I mean?
skinny guy.
I'm a classic skinny guy. I'm a classic skinny guy. I like the. I can't remember for the.
Straight yapping.
So all of this begs the question, why the hell are so many of us trying to get so lean? If people don't even prefer it for the most part,
I have an answer to that, and it's because we do these things for our own gender. Like the whole 90s phenomenon, girls love a skinny girl. And like we just said, guys don't really like we're like, we didn't sign up for we did not sign up for this. And then guys get in shape. Like when you get fit at the gym, the only ones that compliment us are other guys. It's like, damn, bro, you're looking big. Oh, nice biceps. Girls are always like, oh, whatever. Like they don't really notice, or unless they're in that field, like bodybuilding girls or girls that are very fit, like a very fit guy. Huh?
Why'd you point at me?
I didn't point at you. I just did this.
Bodybuilder.
Let me see your biceps.
Exactly. What do you girls think about like why does everyone strive to be so lean?
Just personal.
I disagree with that.
I mean, someone okay. That you're gonna want to like go in the gym and get skinny, you know.
I don't think most of us do things for ourselves because
A status symbol at the end of the day.
oh, there we go. Okay.
And it's really hard because, like, honestly, I'm struggling with it right now. Like, I see all these super fit girls, super muscular, and I'm like, I read the comments, everyone's like, oh, steroids, steroids, steroids. And I'm just like,
Is that what your algorithm is cooked?
I mean, that's a good point though. And it's like a way of showing everyone, hey, I'm a fit person. I live a fit life. I can handle these like harder activities that, cause people nowadays judge if you're like a big slob, people are gonna be like, this guy clearly doesn't take care of himself. His life is not in order just by looking at your body. I would say by looking at your physique.
at the end of the day, to be able to be someone who works out and is that lean, you need time, okay, which is a huge luxury. You need money to have that time to be able to like go work out and be fit and just like not worry about all your other responsibilities for the day. And that at the end of the day, time and money equals status. So I just feel like the more fit you are, the more time you have to work out, the more money you can sacrifice to work out or whatever that might look like.
I think that was great, very well said. I think the third missing part of that formula was you said time, money, and then it shows that you're a person that has accountability, a person that could
That's where I'm going more with it.
yeah, but it's hard to do these. They have discipline. It's hard to put these things before all the other luxuries that, let's be honest, we're in a day and age that there's never been more luxuries. We can go home and watch Netflix. We can play video games. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, you choose to stick your ass of him. And you guys are missing a very important one: sex, attention.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
You get way more attention when you're lean, and that's something that like
Especially as a man, I would say.
I think anybody that's like visibly lean is gonna get attention. Women are gonna get a lot of attention from other women when they're lean, which is what you were saying earlier. But for example, social media is just a game of one-upmanship. How much can I show like my cool life, my impressive feats, like what I do? And part of it is what you said. When I think status symbol, I think of it not so much as time and money. I think of it as in, look at me, I'm able to do these hard things that 95% of you aren't willing to do. So like, I deserve attention for that. So whether that's conscious or unconscious, that's the game that social media people are playing.
And that's the way I feel about bodybuilders, because it's always like, people shit on them a lot because, oh, they take steroids, they take the easy route, but you're still busting your ass a lot. So it's not something that's easy. So I attribute it to that too. What you said, you're willing to put that difficult thing, choose that hard over like other different luxuries that you can choose.
Yeah, I just thought, so the reason why I was me and a lot of other men were like, wow, that's crazy about, the women's preference. Not at all. As a matter of fact, because I was actually like, I'm killing it. That's the let's say women like, he's like, I can be square. I can be square all day. Killing it. No, but it's just that, all my life growing up, I would see it that the people that are more fit, more lean, stronger, bigger, get more attention, right? So it's like, that's why everybody's doing it. That's why for the most part, we're all doing it. Don't give me that, oh, I'm just trying to be healthy. Most people don't do it for that reason.
In high school, every single guy works out to get attention from women. Every single one. And if you tell me otherwise, here.
Or other men, either.
Or other men, hey, to attract whatever you're into.
But that's the whole thing. It's like you're doing all this stuff for a reason, and then you realize, I think that's why so many men were like, you're lying. Why are women lying about this? Because they feel as though, and look, let me strongman their argument. When you see a rom-com and Ryan Gosling takes his shirt off, is he a little bit chubby? No. 100% of the time, that guy is ripped, like super lean. As a matter of fact, they have to get lean to be the lead role of the rom-com. So what game is this that we're playing? Is it just because like Hollywood has different standards?
I would say that, yeah. Like when I'm watching like a movie or something, if the guy takes off his shirt and doesn't look like that, like I'm gonna turn the movie off. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like in real life, if I see that guy, I've been really liking Glenn Powell a lot.
I don't like his face though. Who's that? He's this guy. There's a really weird thing, so I can see out.
We saw the new Ryan Reynolds, actually. There's even jokes about it.
I don't like him. His face is weird.
I love him.
He's in The Hitman. He's in Twister.
If men are allowed to like Sydney Sweeney, I'm allowed to love.
No, you're fine. It's fine. It's fine. You're good. But anyway, like Sydney Sweeney, what are you complaining about?
I literally don't.
I know he's who says it.
But what do you think? Why are we playing that game? Like, why does that person, okay, if you're gonna be like the heartthrob, you have to be lean. There's no such thing as like higher body fat lead role.
I think because we're looking at it from like a window shopping point of view. You're never gonna get this person on the screen, so why not just look at something that's more aesthetically pleasing? She's not going into the survival instinct of this guy. She's not trying to date this guy. She's just like admiring him.
Okay, but why can't you admire the guy in the picture? Like you're not dating Olly Murs, so why is the guy on the left less attractive? If you're gonna window shop, I pick the guy with the six.
You know what I'm gonna go with there?
That's a good point.
You know what I'm gonna go
We're
with?
not marrying the
It's the guy's face.
What picture? Okay, hold on. Let's let her answer. I want to get their perspective on the whole thing. Like
I think the face does mess up the comparison a little bit.
okay.
But if you cover the face, it's like if you ask me which one, like if you say which one do you,
But I don't think he looks really strong in the before photo.
Like it wasn't bad enough to justify not choosing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, okay, here's my question. If I go back to the Ryan Gosling thing, if he takes his shirt off and he doesn't have a six pack, is that more attractive to you guys, less, or it doesn't matter? Since being super lean isn't that important, or is it? I like the eye candy of like watching a movie with a super ripped guy.
I don't think I mind.
I wouldn't mind. But if we ask you guys if they put like, how do I ask?
Giant jugs.
I mean, like if they put like a woman with a really nice body compared to someone with like average, like which one would you rather see more?
I mean, you have Sydney Sweeney being on everybody's screen, and she's not super lean and ripped.
Giant jug. I just said it, guys. You're not listening to it.
Yeah, very extreme. When you have a defining feature like that, I don't think it matters.
Man, not extreme.
I would say if you're gonna turn it to like a man and like the whole Hollywood thing, for us the equivalent would be like watching like Spartacus or one of those like Viking shows and like the dude's fighting people and he's ripped. Like if he's not ripped, it's kind of like, bro, look at this guy with like.
Those shows are like survivalist fighting things.
They're also fake though. Like those guys didn't look like that. They would have died in those times that they were without 5% body fat. So, but as a man, you're like, you kind of. I could see why they do that for men because it's like the extreme, like Jack Leach or whatever. That guy's a bodybuilder.
300 had me.
Yeah, we were like, oh man, that's badass. That's like something to aspire to be. But I guess my whole question, I'm just confused about like if women don't prefer lean bodies, or maybe I don't know. I'm think maybe you guys it's hard for you girls to like look at just the aesthetic. You're already thinking about all.
It is because
things.
I'm primarily thinking about cuddling.
Okay.
Like Olly Murs, lean looks hard. He looks like if I put my shoulder on my face on his chest, it's gonna be like uncomfortable.
So you
It's not gonna feel like a soft pillow.
want to lay on a moob?
And not moves, but
Just like something.
just a little bit of
Yeah, I've always kind of felt bad for any woman that lays on me because I'm a little sharp.
exactly.
Yeah, like sharp.
I actually had a woman tell me that straight up when I was like at my leanest in my 20s. She was like, she told me you're great to look at, but if I had to cuddle with you, I'd rather get like a chubby guy. And I was like, I appreciate the honesty.
She's like, Julian, you're too hard.
And I think when I think about it, that's the whole crux of this whole thing, right? You're great to look at, but I don't really, like as a partner, that's not really my thing. I wouldn't want that like as a partner.
Yeah. There's two different questions. It's like if you ask me which one I find more impressive, it's the guy on the right. But then if you say which one I prefer, which I think was the initial question, it's the one on the left.
So the initial question was which one looks better?
It's an interesting question. So the whole movie thing, like, why do you guys like the ripped guys, but not when it comes to that?
Exactly.
I really do attribute it to the guy's face, and because in the movie they give the guy a persona. So you're seeing Ryan Gosling, your crush, apparently, be a good guy to
The only guy I can think of right now for some reason.
Reynolds, like literally anybody.
There's so many more.
The guy's usually good to the woman. He's he's romantic, this and that. Also, he takes his shirt off and he's ripped. It's not just like he's not just eye candy.
As a movie, you get a personality.
You get a personality. He's not just eye candy.
I love Chris Pratt.
See, it's great.
Doesn't have a great face, honestly, but he has a great personality
has a good
and a superhero body.
Oh, okay, that guy.
You know,
What'd you think? What'd you think?
Competence.
really hot.
Yeah. Jesus. All those Chris's
A
are.
lot of Chris's and the Ryans.
So my
Stacy.
here's one of the arguments that I was getting into with women all week was that I was like, why is it that if a guy, let's say like a random single guy posts a picture at the beach and he has abs versus random single guy posts a picture on the beach and he doesn't have abs, which one gets more DMs? Which one gets more like, wow, looking good? Like, let's face it, we get way more attention, we get way more like engagement when we're like impressively fit, you know, whether that's you want to admit that that's the person that you would choose or not. That's just the reality. That's why people on social media, like they're trying to look their best because you get more engagement, you get more attention.
I can agree with that, but it's different. It's like social media and movies are like over here, and then real life is over here.
But that's why men, I think, we're so like, oh, women are lying because they've seen it, they've experienced it. Oh, I used to be chubby, no attention from women. Now I'm fit and ripped or whatever, and I get a lot of attention from women and men.
I think
So why are you guys bullshitting
I
me?
don't think Olly Murs is chubby.
That's what I was gonna
I'm
say.
for-
Says like, okay, so that's the
He wasn't bad enough to justify like, go with this guy.
okay. So now, all right, so that's the line that we're not crossing. You're either like somebody called him functionally fit, which I thought was a
Yeah,
good
he's not a
term.
flabby, out of shape square guy. He's like she said, he's a guy that looks already pretty strong.
Also, I think like maybe if Olly Murs after photo wasn't so dehydrated and perfect lighting and all of that, then we might have picked the
Like
actor.
scripted.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like people doing the whole lighting thing and how much it changes what they look like. And at one point they look normal and average, and then they flex and they put the lights a certain way and all of this, and then they look like
There's an inverse correlation between how good you want your body to look and how good your face looks. I can tell you that from like, let me use that as an perfect example is the bodybuilding show guy that I showed you yesterday.
Oh my god, that guy.
The guy looks, I have to show you guys.
I mean, I'll put a picture. I'll put his picture.
It's
with a
guys, it's here. It's bad.
He's also
Bad
he
face.
looks like Michael Jackson. Post.
Is it like normal or
No, it's a bad face.
It is AI. First of all,
It's a bad face.
it looks AI.
that looks not real?
is that Will Tennyson?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
His body's insane, right? I mean, he does have a face to begin with, but
Oh geez. I don't think he has a
you don't think he has a
but the tan doesn't help him.
Because instead of a picture of his regular face, can I see his regular
he still doesn't, because that's the thing. Right now, he's preparing for a show, so he está chupado. He has
He looks skeletal.
that skeletal face, and I have a picture of myself where I was like, oh, I was actually in your room because I had the better lighting back in my early 20s, and dude, the body looks insane, all ripped, but my face looks like a Halloween mask. Like I got chupado. So that's why I'm saying that the better your body looks, it creates a lot of contrast. So you see your eyes, like the shadows in your eyes more. The cheeks, so
bags.
So yeah, I agree with the whole I hope picture of him looking bad.
So if I gain weight, you think my bags will go away? No. Next
The
question.
color? No.
So a little quote that I read pertaining to this. Tell me what you guys think about this. A funny aside to the lonely male thing is a subset of men who point blank refuse to listen to women's opinion on what women find attractive. I thought that was interesting because there's a lot of incels and just like lonely disenfranchised men online that on the one hand they complain that women don't pay attention to them, and on the other hand, when women do say, hey, this is what we like, they ignore them. They're like, no, you don't. You like ripped guys.
Yeah.
Trust me. Because the girls in my school, they only date the high school, like the jocks and the football players. So
Tate syndrome.
it's a problem, you know, where guys aren't even willing to listen to women. That's why I opened it up for a conversation. I'm like, let's talk about it.
I think being funny also goes a long way.
Let's say personality.
So like the funny fat guys, like they're onto something.
100%.
I mean, you can't pick your battle.
Exactly.
You can't be fat with a shitty personality.
Sure.
It's like, well, I don't want to admit it, but you got to bring something to the table ultimately on what either it's your looks or your personality or your body. Bring something. Like be a fat girl with a really cute face.
I would say though, if you have a kind of a shitty personality, then work on your body more.
Is that what you did?
A little bit.
A little bit. To the side for a second. And no, it is what it is. It is.
No, but look, you have to know your strengths. And you know, like I was not a charmer, a talker, or this and that, but I didn't get attention in other ways, and it's always worked.
Genius. Learn to dance salsa.
Learn to do things, yeah, and
Got a nice physique.
get better skills, and it works out.
Or you could just be one of those fat guys that takes photos of women, a photographer.
Women invites women. Ooh, that's a good hack.
You a free portfolio. I'm really just a pervert. I know a few of those.
But let me ask you,
Shout out if you're watching.
How did that get in here?
let me ask you, girl. Oh, yeah, we're talking about like the things that men do. Let me ask you guys something though. Is there any merit to like, do you like, let's say you're looking at a guy and the act of him getting his shit together, or you know, going through that dedicated process of 6 months or whatever, is that attractive?
You literally went through it.
I would say yes. Attractive? Yeah, absolutely. Impressive, attractive, you know.
So that in itself, bodies aside and like aesthetics aside, the fact that you are bettering yourself, you're trying to do something that's hard, that's good for you. I think that, you know, as a man, that's good to know that it's not all about like how you look. It's the fact that you're willing to do these things.
I just think that's a more deep conversation. These people were literally just talking about a guy's look, like from first impression, and but then they took it to the evolutionary standpoint. So, is it too far?
And it opens that conversation for like guys that couldn't believe it, right? So that's where we're at now. These guys can't believe that women actually prefer X over Y. So now we're talking about, well, what do women actually prefer?
But it's been known for a while that women don't like the exaggerated guys either. I agree with that.
So because there's also like a lot of women who are vain and just not in a good mental, like you have to be in a good mental state and like know yourself as a human being and as a good person in order to just realize that a guy doesn't have to be 5% body fat to be attractive, you know?
Great point.
And we're in Miami. There's a lot of girls that are just after money. Okay, even if you're a 75-year-old dude, or after just the body, even if you're just a complete asshole to them.
6'3" with an arrest record, no job, but you're rich.
Because that's all they care about. Whereas like there's people who are in normal mental states in their lives and
They're looking at
a person holistically. Camping.
That's a great point.
I still love camping, huh? Both of you guys love
I love camping.
campers.
Beach camping.
Now you're average Miami people.
Yeah.
Great.
Other people in here, they'd be like, oh no, the one on the right looks a lot.
Get an OnlyFans girl mirror in here.
Girls from what city in Miami?
Oh, Bake's favorite city.
Which city in Miami? Love Brickell.
I will also say on that point, back to the attention thing, I think a lot of women would want to be seen with a guy who draws a lot of attention, whether it's because he has money or because he's super ripped. Because like it or not, the ripped guy walks around the beach, people are looking. Whether you're looking to like, oh wow, that's impressive, or you're looking because I'm attracted, they're looking. So I think a lot of women do get off on the fact that that's my guy, you know? I'm with him. So
I mean, I was at the beach, like 2 weekends ago, and there was a girl there who was, someone's wife, and I just couldn't stop looking at her because her body was crazy. And she wasn't like super lean or super buff, but you could tell she works out and like, wow, like she looks so good.
Tell her something? You would have made her day probably. When girls compliment each other, they make each other's days for some reason. When a guy does it, you're a creep.
knew he was for some reason. When I got perfect sense.
Creep, though.
Maybe it's like,
the
why are you
joke.
looking at me?
Guys, I would literally never approach anyone. Ever. I'm way too shy to approach anyone. It's just not my bag.
That's my whole point with the attention thing. Like, I think people misconstrue the idea that if I look like kind of like on the extreme side, I will get attention. Therefore, I should do that. I should try to, when in reality, what you were saying before, if you're looking for a life partner or somebody that is beyond the aesthetics, it's not so much about how lean you are. Like, I'm not gonna, oh God, you're not at 6% body fat. I'm not even gonna talk to you. Like, you're not gonna take your shirt off like that, over dinner. Exactly. Which, by the way, people think because we're trainers, we do that. Like, how many women have told you like, okay, I don't want to, no, you're probably judging me. And we're like,
100%. It's like, you wouldn't be interested in me. I was like, how do you know what I would be interested in? Oh, because you're a trainer.
That means nothing.
so I think that's where the disconnect with some of these men that couldn't believe it is, that they think the more the better. Like I could just get leaner because I'm gonna get a lot more attention, and then I could, attract more girls. And
I think the only time that applies, like I said earlier, is if you have the same lifestyle. So if you're both like bodybuilders, then you're gonna be attracted to the guy that's a body. I know some girls like that they are either what is it, IFBB pro?
you're also not you're also gonna be embarrassed to be with a guy who's like chubby.
Yeah.
Because you're all so into fitness, and you're gonna be with chubby.
Yeah, or sometimes those girls like the huge, like maybe they're not ripped, but it's the giant guy that is like the 3XL shirt, so you can't see that
The populous ones, yeah, type
exactly.
with tattoos.
But just strong with tattoos on his neck and a beard, and maybe a weird piercing somewhere.
A little sus. And so here's what I want to kind of close with. Open it up to you girls. If you had to give advice to men, like what do women find attractive? And keep in mind, should we keep it just a physical or physical S?
Yeah, it's a Able podcast.
Okay, so what advice would you give?
I would say physical wise, like staying healthy, like having the healthy look, but not being too obsessed with it. Does that make sense?
Healthy look.
But that looks different for everyone.
So,
Like if I got it all together and started eating right and working out 5 times a week, I would probably be super ripped. But I eat like shit.
You don't know that. You look at him and be like, he's a healthy side. So he's already he's healthy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a different
so let me
for
hear
everyone.
I know what she meant though.
No, I know what you meant, but it's like different standards are different.
But don't go too don't like exaggerate it too much. Be like, oh, women are only gonna like me when I'm ripped. Like that's not,
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
That was the Julia mentality growing up.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to being well-rounded. Don't go to either extreme. And honestly, maybe it's the same advice to give women is just focus on getting strong and the rest will fall into place.
I think getting strong is a great goal because it takes care of so many other things, like the discipline aspect, the functional aspect, where you are better at other things because you lift weights. And then, of course, you're probably going to look a little bit better if you're lifting weights and working on getting stronger.
Yeah, and I think if you feel good, if you work out, and like you guys said, you live a pretty healthy lifestyle and you take care of yourself and you feel good internally, that's going to radiate that, like, that desirability to people. It's not just about how other people perceive you, it's about how you feel. And if you're taking care of yourself, that comes off as more like, you're not that person that's like, oh, woe is me. Nobody looks at like, you have that, exude that confidence.
For sure, because like we've talked about before, is you can be super lean and be extremely insecure. And like one bad comment or one, somebody tells you something on social media and you're like off the rails because God forbid.
Yeah.
So that's not attractive.
No, that's
And focusing on getting strong, like I'm not super lean and I feel extremely freaking confident
There you go,
just because I'm strong.
you're
And
strong and you're consistent and you know that about yourself. Yeah. And you feel good internally. I think that confidence like comes out.
When you initially asked the last question, I was gonna say confidence, but not being like arrogant. But then I went the other route because you said more like
But confidence goes into it. And I think what a lot of young men, because let's face it, that's who, let's say we're directing this advice to, they misunderstand that. Like, I think you become confident by becoming competent, right? In something, whether that's
Bars.
I didn't make that up. Whether that's like intellectually or in a workplace or physically, it's like you get better. What did she just say? I feel confident because I can do things. I'm strong. I've proven to myself that for over, what is it, a year and a half, 2 years, I've been consistent with this. So of course, who's gonna tell you, no, you are strong. You can lift heavy things. Like you proved it to yourself. But that doesn't come, I hate this whole like guru thing of just fake it till you make it. Act confident. Walk into the room like you own the place. Like, bro, what have you done to earn
I used
that
to believe
confidence?
that fake it till you make it mentality. And then I realized life is all about learning and growing. And it's okay to not know something and to go out and learn about it and practice it and get better at it rather than fake it.
And then you're gonna be more confident.
Including yourself, like learning about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, who you are as a person. Like once you're comfortable with all that, like you just said, you learn about yourself.
We're getting deep.
yeah, this is like a really deep conversation.
But what about if, just to play devil's advocate, what about if you're like confident and you really are who you are, but
You're
dead serious? Like, let's say you are a slob of a person.
that's a mess.
What Ali had said before, like you have to be in the right.
I don't think if you're a Slav, there's something going on. That's what I think. 100%. Because like, for example, even me, like I used to sleep until like 11 a.m. Like that's, Shit together.
Now you wake up early.
But let's say you're like a comedian. That's the archetype that I'm thinking of. But comedians historically are like, they're people that either have like some sort of trauma. They're atypical people and they live atypical lifestyles. They stay up to 4 or 5 a.m. You know, they're kind of a little chaotic, but a lot of them are very like, they're smart.
Yeah.
They're obviously funny, so they can get that. Is that like a hack? Is that like an alternative path? And again, I wouldn't argue for that because I do believe in like discipline, self-growth, self-improvement, that kind of stuff. But
I think she literally said it. Sorry, she literally said it earlier though. Like that funny guys.
But it's also like, I think that fact
you're
funny,
fat and funny, ignore all of this. You can do it whatever you want.
but I think those who have funny guys are also like know about themselves enough to have that
They're
confidence.
confident. And
Yeah.
It's not a delusional, like what you were saying, the guy, you're a slob and you're confident, you're just delusional. Like we said earlier, you haven't done anything to earn it. You're giving out this air of confidence. Well, in your head, you're kind of insecure. I feel like all those guys are giving that fake confidence.
I feel like the fat funny guy is also insecure. I feel like the fat funny guy, if he goes to the beach with his girl, hey, there's better, like more fit guys. You don't think that fat funny guy is like, is my girl looking at that guy? Like, what if I were leaner?
It's if you're actually, and I mean like honestly confident with yourself, not portraying confidence because it's what people find attractive. Like, mute this. But if you're actually like somebody that's, comfortable and, oh, my girl likes me because of who I am, I don't think you have that doubt. Maybe that's just, maybe I'm wrong.
We're getting controversial here, but I would argue that it's unattractive to not take care of yourself.
yeah, 100%.
So that fat funny guy, you could be as funny as you want, but I don't think your girl, your wife, whatever, is happy with the fact that like, your next door neighbor wakes up at 6 a.m., goes for runs, all this stuff, and you're just sitting on the couch because you're fat and funny. Like, I don't think that's attractive.
Gotta be real.
You could get the girl. I'm not saying those guys can get the girl. I know they can. But like at the end of the day, I think that you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of want, hey, bro,
Like let's go do something.
like better yourself,
I think that applies to everywhere in life, though. Like, for example, your job. If you're working a dead-end job, you want to do things to better yourself and get a better job, and then a better job after that, and etc. until you reach whatever life goal you have, right? Whether it's to make a lot of money or be a certain position, whatever that may be. I think the same applies to fitness. Like, you want to better yourself every day. And I think the desire to better yourself comes from being in that right mental state where you're like, okay, like, I need to get my life together.
Okay, so then we can conclude that I'm going to go back to the fat funny guy. If he's not trying to better his life, that's not good. You would prefer
Yes.
for him to be, okay.
If he's on the couch being like super lazy where he could be, if you're,
But what if he's just like working really hard at work and he doesn't have time to go to the gym? He's a really hard worker. He gets home at 8 p.m. every night.
The one thing it doesn't have is
he has everything else. He's not a slob. He's not on the couch while you're like vacuuming under him. He works hard. He provides. He does things around the house. He's just not fit, either genetically or whatever it may be.
But he doesn't make an effort to get fit either. It's because of whatever legitimate reasons.
I think that goes down to like self-care. It's like you gotta care for yourself before you can care for others. And like that guy that you guys are talking about,
Like I just say,
fat funny.
well, FMG from now on.
I mean, I don't know. I have this guy.
I'm not anymore.
No, but
I said anymore.
he used to be, and he used to be really intimidated by the idea of going to the gym. He's still scared of doing sports because he tore his ACL one time. Okay, in the mud, like mudding. He's scared of doing sports because he doesn't want to get hurt. Like, he's legitimately super scared.
And he's absolutely right. Sports are pretty risky after your 30s.
I wish you didn't say that because he's gonna use it now against me. I was like, please come to something with me.
What sports are you doing that he doesn't want to join in?
Like soccer, and like we have a
Soccer I wouldn't do, but volleyball.
No, but if you're
or tennis. Like for someone to play tennis with me.
also don't be a try-hard. You're not gonna get hurt doing tennis. I'm talking about like pick up basketball, flag football.
That's a recipe.
Yeah, that's a recipe for injury. But okay, I get your point.
Pickleball.
But he does everything. I mean, he commutes an hour to work, an hour back. He works all day.
He's a hard worker.
He's a hard worker. He does everything for me. Like, this guy opened every single car door and door to anywhere for me.
That's what we want.
This is also a fellow silver fox, which I appreciate. Shout out.
Right. He has tons of gray hair. Maybe not as much as Julian at this point.
But no, he definitely had more because he has longer hair and more hair and more hairline. And
And then, you know, there was a point where I was like, dude, you got to get your shit together
well, there you go, Ali.
and go to the gym. And I took his credit card and I signed him up for the gym, his credit card. And I'm like, you're going. That's it. Because he kept telling me, oh, next month, next month, next month. I'm like, no.
So you think it was an intimidation thing? He had the desire to do it, which I think is a really good. I think if you don't have the desire, you're cooked. But he wanted to. He just was intimidated, which I can definitely, you know,
Especially if you're not somebody that grew up fit or growing up to going to the gym, or did he grow up like playing sports or anything?
That's the saying.
That's
So like I grew up playing sports and that's why I like sports so
Yeah.
much and I'm super competitive and stuff like that. But there's a lot of kids like, okay, so I am the type of kid who was like math competition,
Same.
like all sorts of nerdy stuff,
Ball.
robotics team,
Nice.
like all sorts of nerdy stuff. And I think the most important thing that I ever did in my childhood came down to sports, not math competition, which is ridiculous because you would think as a parent, like you want your kid to be smart and get a good job and all this stuff. No, sports teaches you so much about being on a team, being a leader, being, you know, disciplined. Like it's so much more than just being smart.
And you didn't say anything about physical benefits there. You said a lot of awesome traits, but you didn't mention also important ones, which is you're going to be stronger, more athletic, more agile. But I like that you said those things because, I mean, it's true though. It's true. That's great.
The funny fact, guys, that we love you. And
We love you no matter what.
So no mess. To be honest with you, I love the funny fat guys, like hanging out with them, interacting with them. I've always gotten along. All my friends have always been funny fat guys. All my friends, I love funny fat guys. You're the best.
That's the stab to Rainer.
Was just kidding.
Chubby.
I'm just kidding.
He looks like Ollie in the before picture. Maynard. I think he's a little more out of shape, but he works
A
out.
little more relojero.
Now.
Now he does.
Yeah, but we're talking about now. Maynard, I think you look like the
He's not listening to this. He's watching Kill Tony.
monster.
He's listening for the jokes.
Especially at the very end.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Well, let us know what you guys think. Did we miss anything? Are you upset about anything?
Indians. Let us know in the comments. Ali, picture, comment.
No, don't text us. Put it in the comments, damn it. It helps the algorithm.
Come on, Will.
Everybody, great podcast. I love how you're talking about. Put it in the damn comments. It helps you.
We're coming piece of ourselves. Guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the B Fit Brothers.
And I was like everything I said.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually cut you out of the whole thing.
okay.